Hi there, everyone, and welcome to the ukestuff channel. I'm just trying something different today, and I'm recording this on my new iPad. This is a response to one of Rich Davis's newer videos about preferring laminate ukuleles over solid top or solid body ukuleles. And I'm recording this not to contradict Rich, but I had so much to say in response that I didn't want to type it all, and I thought it'd be easier just to speak through. So Rich had 4 reasons why he preferred laminate ukuleles over solid top or solid ukuleles. And let me just review those from his video. The first one, he said it will be a decade before you ever can tell the difference in your own playing between a laminate instrument and then a solid top or a solid instrument. The second one was, if you want to improve, buy a laminate ukulele and learn how to play it. The third one was, get yourself a quality laminate ukulele that you like and then learn how to play it. And what makes that different than the previous one is saying something that you like. And then the final thing was, don't put a lot of money into your hobby until you become an amazing player. Now, I want to address those because, quite honestly, for a long time, I have had a couple of rules with ukulele. And we'll talk about some of these. I've got some points written down here. I've got my phone with some notes on it. But ultimately, one of my rules has been, don't spend more than $75 on your first ukulele if you don't know that you're going to love it. It makes no sense. I have seen for years people say, buy the best ukulele you can afford. And there's a couple flaws with that because the best ukulele may not be a good ukulele. You can watch places like the Ukulele Site or Mims Ukes or the Uke Republic or Aloha City or Elderly Music or Youth Space. You can check out all these ukulele sellers and they will tell you that in a batch of instruments, there are good ones and ones that aren't so great, even from the big names, even expensive instruments. So what ends up happening is people give this advice, go buy the most expensive instrument that you can, and then people do, and then they don't love the instrument, and they drop it, and it either just collects dust, or they just sell it at a huge loss. And I think sometimes there are people that encourage people to buy that way so that they can buy those instruments at a reduced cost. So I think there's actually sort of a kind of a background thing happening there that isn't so good. What I really would say to people is buy what is going to keep you playing. So if there is a cool design, like you really love those Ziracote ukuleles, I really think they're pretty, or you love the Cocobolo ukuleles with that beautiful red sapwood and so forth, then if that's going to keep you playing, it might be worth spending the money to get that. For a laminate, you're going to be spending, for a prettier laminate, you're going to be spending $150, $250. You start getting into solid tops, it's generally $150 on up. And you get into solids, it's generally going to be, $500 on up. There are exceptions there, and there are no ceilings. Although I haven't seen many laminate ukuleles much more than $300. And even then, that's pretty much on the high end of what you would see. So buy what is going to keep you playing rather than something that's going to collect dust or something that you're just going to collect or something that you're going to be afraid to play. So don't buy a $1,200 Kamaka if you're going to be afraid to play it and ruin it. Now, I usually suggest, if you're really interested in a high-end ukulele, I almost always encourage you to watch the ukulele sales forums in the marketplaces and buy one that way. That would be a much better way to go than spending $1,200, especially early in your playing. Now, if you want to do something special, like I have a goal in my life, which is to travel to Hawaii and buy a Kamaka in Hawaii, an HF2, that's the concert. That's one of my goals, and I will spend the money there to do that. And I'll arrange ahead of time to be able to do that, either at the factory or with one of the ukulele dealers on Hawaii. So yeah, there are special occasions that you can do something special, but in general, look for used ones because they're just as good, and people have played them, they've been broken in. You can even get sound samples so you'll know what you're getting there. People have different financial realities, right? That's why we have Lexus versus Toyota. Both the same company, but the price points are significantly different, and the interiors become different, while the drivetrain and everything else stay basically the same. Another example is Audi versus Volkswagen, right? You have these, and then there are supercars as well, and there are some people that can afford supercars and enjoy driving them. You know, we all have different tastes and we all have different levels of finances and the realities of what we like within those finances. So if you like a more expensive ukulele and you can afford it, well then go for it. Just know that again, when you sell it, you're going to lose money if you don't like it. So yeah, if you have disposable income, do what you want. Um, the other rule that I have, by the way, is when you get into ukulele and you buy that first ukulele, and again, I say really no more than $75, really it's like 100, 100 or less. Don't buy your second ukulele for at least a month. If you can wait 2 months, it'd be great. Learn more about the instrument, learn more about what you want. Go to music stores and play different things that are out there. And get involved with a club and see if you can borrow somebody else's instrument to play and see what that's like. Get more information, read about the instrument. Buy Barry Maz's book about the ukulele. It's a really good summary of those first things. Watch lots of YouTube videos, learn more, and then buy your second. And if you're going to buy a high-end ukulele and it's not going to be used, use a specialty ukulele dealer. I've already mentioned them in this video. Places like Aloha City, places like Mims Ukes, places like the Uke Republic, places like Elderly Music, places like USpace, and there are others as well that I'm just not mentioning in this video. Oh, and the ukulele site, of course. Also, if you're going to buy a solid top or a solid ukulele, be aware of what you're going to need to do to take care of it. So if you live in a climate like I do, I live in Wisconsin, in the winter, between October and March, the humidity levels here, both indoors and outdoors, drop below that of the Sahara Desert. And you need to know how to take care of that instrument in those low humidity areas. Or if you live somewhere where the humidity is off the charts, you need to know how to deal with the humidity there. Be aware of those issues of humidity, for example, storage, keeping something safe. If you're going to invest in a better instrument, you need to know how to store it so you're not going to accidentally sit on it and break it. At the same time, every time that you need to practice or want to practice, if your instrument is stuck in a case, it's awfully hard to get out and grab it and take it out. So it's nice also to have a second ukulele around if you have a very expensive ukulele that you can leave out, that if it breaks, it's not a bad deal, and that can handle the weather without having to care for it much at all. That's part of the reason why I like these new polycarbonate ukuleles that we've been seeing, like from Outdoor Ukulele and Enya and so forth, that are coming out and have been out, so that you can leave those out and never have to worry about them. Or the Flight Travel Uke, another one made of ABS with a Lindenwood soundboard. And then finally, the last thing I'm going to say is if I had to sell all of my ukuleles and only keep like 2 or 3, in that collection of 2 or 3 would be my full koa, Koloha, my full koa, Kanalea, and then probably quite honestly, my Enya Nova concert. Those would probably be the 3. If you made me get rid of everything else, those would be the 3 that I would hold on to. And if you notice, 2 of those are solid ukuleles. Why? They play amazing, they sound amazing, and they are an investment that are going to pass on to my family for years and years. And I will be teaching my boys how to care for them, so that when they get them, they can take care of them, and someday they can pass them down to their children, even if they don't play. So, do I disagree with Rich? No, I don't disagree with what Rich was saying, but I also don't agree fully. There is a place for solid and solid top ukuleles, and it is earlier than 10 years into your playing. So if you love the instrument and you can afford it, and you love the sound and you love the experience, maybe you love the story behind a brand, then yes, you do not have to be an expert player to play Kanalea or Kamaka or Koloha or Kolau or any of those upper end instruments. You don't. It's available and accessible to everyone, just not everybody can afford a $1,200 instrument. And again, if you can't, that's why laminates are so great. They're durable. You can not have to worry about them too much. Solid tops are this great compromise in the middle. I really, really like the KASSLNG, solid top spruce with laminate body. great sounding, great playing instrument. If you're looking for a first solid instrument, check out brands like Ukuleles, Flight, Snail, Mainland ukuleles. They all kind of have these instruments in this middle range of price. And of course, like the Ohanas and the Kalas have them too. And then of course you have the next echelon of like Koloha Opio or Pono. And then you've got the really exclusive brands like Anue Nue, which didn't start that way as being exclusive, but it is now Anue Nue, Koloha, Kamaka, Kanalea, Kolau. Oh, and then I should also mention that in that center range, you also have the Rebel series, which is made by the same people who make the Koloha Opios in that middle range, along with like Pono. So yeah, lots of options out there for you. But no, you don't have to stick to a laminate instrument for 10 years. But I would start there, learn about the instrument, and then move to other things that interest you based upon your interests and your financial safety, right? And financial good decisions so you don't overspend on something either. All right. Thanks so much for watching the video. I hope you're having a great day, and I'll be back soon with some more uke stuff for you.